baby! You're in the big league!
Snakes alive! We've got baseball out in the desert as the D-backs slither in the chase field, looking to sink their fangs into this one.
And it's at their home park that these Diamondbacks need to find their venom, as they were just 39-42 at home in 2006, not good enough to scale the National League West Division.
Now, 2006, a real struggle for this Arizona franchise, but they did get a chance to look at some of the coming prospects that we'll be seeing in the years ahead. Look at the future of the D-backs. They add more experience to their promising career, so that's valuable.
And the D-backs did see some outstanding pitching, as Brandon Webb picked up the National League Cy Young Award in 2006, and Eric Burns had a dynamic year at the plate. These Snakes may be positioned to make a run at the playoffs this time around.
Thanks, Steve. Now let's take you out for some baseball. John?
This is John Miller, welcoming you to our Major League Baseball telecast, along with former Major Leaguer and Hall of Famer Joe Morgan. In order for the Arizona Diamondbacks, Eric Burns is third in their lineup.
The Atlanta Braves are just moments away from taking to the field at Turner Field as they look to start a new streak of postseason appearances.
Well, the Braves missed the playoffs altogether in 2006, something that hasn't happened since 1990, as their consecutive string of National League East Division titles was snapped at 14 with a 79-83 third-place finish.
And it was at Turner Field, long a place of strength for this franchise, that these Braves took a bruising with a record of 40-41 before the hometown faithful. That's not exactly what they've grown accustomed to in Atlanta.
Well, Jeannie, the Braves couldn't keep winning this division forever, as inconsistency in the starting rotation and struggles in the bullpen ultimately hindered this club in 2006. Fans began to see a new crop of Braves talent begin to emerge, such as catcher Brian McCann, as he hit .333 and made the All-Star team at just 22 years of age.
Thanks, Steve. Now let's take you out for some baseball. John?
John Miller here. I'll be calling all the balls and strikes, the safes and the outs, the homers, the doubles, alongside my partner, the Hall of Famer, Joe Morgan.
And he's a great center fielder.
John Smoltz will be doing the pitching. He's averaged more than 8 strikeouts per 9 innings pitched for the year.
The reports of John Smoltz's demise have been greatly exaggerated, as this veteran just seems to get better with age. He's one for the ages, and he isn't done yet, and he's a great postseason pitcher.
A great pitcher changes the eye level of the hitter, upstairs, then downstairs.
This one is an American League East matchup featuring the Baltimore Orioles and the Baltimore Orioles. Eric Bedard will pitch for the Baltimore Orioles. Eric Bedard will oppose him for Baltimore.
Jeannie, Eric Bedard is quickly moving to the forefront as one of the top left-handed pitchers in baseball. For a bad Baltimore team in 2006, he won 15 games, struck out 171 in 196 in the third innings, has a good fastball that he can spot on both sides of the plate. He has an above-average curveball, and it is a 12-6 breaker. I mean, really can hammer it down. So the right-handed batters, sometimes you'll see them jelly-leg today on that curveball.
Thanks, Steve. Now let's take you out for some baseball. John?
Welcome, everyone. John Miller here to bring you all the action. And with me is my partner and Baseball Hall of Famer, Joe Morgan. Now, Joe...
It's time for the biggest thing in Boston this side of Plymouth Rock, Steve, as the Boston Red Sox get ready to take the field at Fenway Park.
And the franchise with the fourth best attendance record in the major leagues will be looking to sustain another run at a playoff berth, something that slipped out of reach late in the 2006 campaign.
For a club that was in first place at the All-Star break and in first place at the trade deadline, things turned sour for Boston in a hurry as they ended the season at 86 and 76 for a third-place finish in the AL East.
But at 48 and 33 at Fenway in 2006, these Sox managed to take care of business at home, with the notable exception of 5 straight losses to the dreaded New York Yankees on the weekend of August 18th through the 21st. With that massacre behind them, ancient history as far as these guys are concerned, these Sox will mount another assault on the American League East.
Thanks, Steve. Now let's take you out for some baseball. John?
John Miller here to bring you all the action, and with me, my longtime partner, the Hall of Famer, Joe Morgan. Now we're about to go down and get the game started.
RBI guy, and he's looking to get better.
Curt Schilling will be doing the pitching. He's averaged more than 8 strikeouts per 9 innings pitched for the year.
Well, your chances are always great when you have Curt Schilling towing the rubber for you. He's got great command of 3 pitches, a nasty splitter, a late-breaking slider, a good live fastball. And when he's on his game, there are a few better.
It's an NL Central battle coming up between the Chicago Cubs and the Chicago Cubs. Carlos Zambrano will get the start for the Chicago Cubs. And in last year's campaign, his ERA was just over 3.4. Carlos Zambrano will oppose him as he will pitch for the Chicago Cubs.
Carlos Zambrano has great size, Jeannie. 6'5", 250. He knows how to pitch. 4 straight years, he has thrown more than 200 innings. That's the definition of a workhorse. And the last 2 years, he's had over 200 strikeouts per season. The trouble is command. In 2006, he walked 115. The key, he's got to be able to command that heavy-sinking fastball.
Thanks, Steve. Now let's take you out for some baseball. John?
Alongside Emmy-winning Joe Morgan, you thought he was just a Hall of Famer. This is John Miller getting you ready for what should be a pretty good matchup.
Their third baseman. I think he's the real deal. He's going to be a complete player pretty quickly.
Carlos Zambrano will be doing the pitching. Currently, his ERA is just above 3.40. He won 16 games last year.
Carlos Zambrano will be the guy to keep an eye on getting the start today. He's been a real workhorse for this team, and he can be effective. You know, he'll need to watch out for the base on balls, but other than that, he has been an excellent pitcher. Kerry Wood and Mark Pryor got all the publicity, but this guy has been the most consistent pitcher of the group. Well, the catcher called for it down, but this one is up, and the catcher's not happy with him.
The Chicago White Sox come into U.S. Cellular Field hungry for the complete victory they enjoyed as world champions in 2005, and they'd like to make a short memory of the 2006 disappointments with another trip to the playoffs this time around, Steve.
And, Jeannie, they have improved their offense and their pitching rotation, but they play in an unforgiving division, so a losing streak at the wrong time can be devastating, which was the case in 2006 when they began a mid-September skid in Oakland that knocked them out of contention in spite of their 90-win season.
Yes, 90 wins in the only division where that means a third-place finish. But with the murderer's row of Jim Thome, Paul Konerko, Jermaine Dye in the 3, 4, and 5 slots, these guys would seem to have all the tools to compete with the best.
And with Joe Creedy in that same lineup, the 2006 White Sox had 4 players with 30 or more home runs in the same lineup for only the 10th time in Major League history. If that starting rotation gets back in a groove like it did in 2005, well, they could win it all again.
Thanks, Steve. Now let's take you out for some baseball. John?
Hello, everyone. This is John Miller alongside my longtime partner, Joe Morgan. And we should have a pretty good matchup here in this one.
What a leader is. He's a guy that's willing to make the statement. He's willing to stand behind the statement. And he brings a real steady bat to this lineup because he's been an RBI guy. And he was their most valuable player the year they won, the World Championship in 2005. So you're talking about a guy with great leadership abilities and also a big bat.
Jose Contreras will be doing the pitching.
Well, the key guy for them is the guy on the mound, Jose Contreras. He likes to set you up with a mid-90s fastball and then come after you with the forkball. And he's an international star. His downfall in the big leagues has been his inability to stay consistent. Let's keep an eye on him and see how he does today.
Well, you try to get the hitter to chase that riding fastball, but he wouldn't chase that one.
And coming up, it's a battle in the National League Central between the Cincinnati Reds and the Cincinnati Reds. Aaron Harang will be on the mound for Cincinnati. Aaron Harang will face him taking the mound for the Cincinnati Reds.
Aaron Harang, Jeannie, put it all together in 2006. This guy, great size, 6'7", 240. Good downward angle. Won 16 games with the Reds in 2006 and struck out 216 batters. He's got a fastball that reaches around 90-91, but he has a two-seam fastball that's excellent and a much improved slider and changeup.
Thanks, Steve. Now let's take you out for some baseball. John?
John Miller here. I'll be calling all the balls and strikes, the safes and the outs, the homers, the doubles, alongside my partner, the Hall of Famer.
But he has surprised a lot of us by flashing a little power here and there. But his team needs more of that in this one.
Aaron Harang will be doing the pitching.
I think they're looking for a good start out of Aaron Harang in this one. In 2006, he led the National League with 216 strikeouts for the Reds. He was particularly effective on the road, but we'll see if he can continue to put up those kinds of numbers this time around.
The fastball up and away is not going to get the job done today.
And coming up, it's a battle in the American League Central between the Cleveland Indians and the Cleveland Indians. CC Sabathia will throw the first pitch for Cleveland in this one. Last year, his ERA was just above 3.20. CC Sabathia will go against him for Cleveland.
CC Sabathia, Jeannie, is just about ready to break out. He is only 26 years old. He's been pitching in the major league since 2001. He has 81 wins in his first 6 years. Big man at 6'7", about 260 pounds. He only won 12 games last year, but believe me, he has good stuff. His fastball reaches the high 90s, and when he is controlling it, he can dominate.
Thanks, Steve. Now let's take you out for some baseball. John?
Hello, everyone. This is John Miller along with Joe Morgan, and we're ready to bring you all the action. Joe, as we get set to go here, tell me.
He is one of the best RBI guys they have on the ball club because he puts the ball in play.
CC Sabathia will be doing the pitching, and Joey's got his ERA right above 3.20.
CC Sabathia, he's a guy that, everybody keeps saying one of these days he's going to break out and maybe win 25 ball games or just be the dominant pitcher that, they expect him to be. He has great stuff, great fastball. He's learned how to pitch. He doesn't just throw out there anymore. And, I really pull for him because he's from the same area I'm from. But Sabathia is always on the verge of being, a Cy Young Award winner. I think he can win the Cy Young Award in the next couple of years.
They're taking the balls out of the humidor even as we speak as the Rockies prepare to throw strikes a mile high at Coors Field, Steve.
And while a lot of opponents would like to credit the moisture-enhanced baseballs at Coors Field for the 2006 Rockies pitching success and 44-37 home record, the fact is that the Rockies had solid 1, 2, and 3 starters in that rotation, and all 3 of them came up through the Rockies farm system.
As the Rockies discovered pitching, it was the offense that fell off in 2006 as first baseman Todd Helton was way off his usual power numbers after a serious stomach ailment that took a toll on his strength.
So this time around, the Rockies will try to get the pitching and offense working for them as they look to stay healthy and climb the National League West Division.
Thanks, Steve. Now let's take you out for some baseball. John?
Hello, everyone. I'm John Miller, along with my longtime partner and Hall of Famer, Joe Morgan.
And Joe, a great start from this left-handed starter taking the mound today. Jeff Francis really found his control in 2006 with the Colorado Rockies as he started to throw more strikes. And the confidence that he has now will probably carry him through this ball game. He does a good job here painting that outside corner and is definitely in the strike zone, but maybe just a little too low for the hitter to swing at.
Get your roar on as the Tigers prepare to take to the field at Comerica Park, looking to make another run at another pennant.
In 2006, these Tigers gave their fans a reason to roar, Jeannie, as they put together an outstanding starting rotation and a strong bullpen that allowed them to start strong and brought the World Series to Detroit for the first time since Sparky Anderson in 1984.
And with much of that starting rotation intact, they could continue to be a force in this tough American League Central Division, especially if they can get some consistent production at the plate.
Yeah, the hitting was feast or famine for the 2006 Tigers and prone to power outages. But these guys had just come off of 12 consecutive losing seasons before making this improbable run at a championship. With that postseason experience under their belts, this team is well prepared to stage another run at the playoffs.
Thanks, Steve. Now let's take you out for some baseball. John?
This is John Miller along with Joe Morgan, and we're ready to bring you all the excitement of this ball game. Joe, the Tigers are taking the field. Is sitting in that sixth spot.
We are serving up fish on the menu at 2K Sports as the Florida Marlins angle to reel in a winning season in South Florida.
Well, in 2006, Jeannie, the Marlins relied on fresh fish to get the job done as they fielded a roster heavy with rookie talent and a first-year manager, and yet managed to be in contention up until the final weeks of the season.
Yeah, the rookies were up for the job as shortstop Hanley Ramirez picked up National League Rookie of the Year honors, and Anibal Sanchez pitched the only no-hitter of the season on September 6th.
But how about the team? At 42-39, these Marlins had a winning record at home as well as a foundation of young talent that could be real force in the National League.
Thanks, Steve. Now let's take you out for some baseball. John?
Alongside Emmy-winning Joe Morgan, you thought he was just a Hall of Famer. This is John Miller getting you ready for what should be a pretty good matchup. This is empty with one out.
We are just a Minute Maid away from baseball in Houston here on the 2K Sports Network as the Astros get ready to take the field before the hometown crowd.
And Minute Maid Park is where they made the Astros fans smile in 2006. They won 44, lost 37. If the road record had been a bit stronger, they would have overtaken the Cards for the National League Central crown.
At 82-80 for the 06 season record, these Astros had to settle for second place. But they did make the final 2 weeks of the regular season really interesting as they put together a 9-game win streak that just nearly sent them into the playoffs.
Well, Jeannie, the Astros hope that's a sign of things to come as they look to stand out from the pack this time around. And with the new additions to that lineup, they hope to finally have enough offensive help to make their pitching stand up.
Thanks, Steve. Now let's take you out for some baseball. John?
Hello, everyone. This is John Miller alongside my longtime partner, Joe Morgan, and we should have a pretty good matchup here in this one.
2 degrees.
Now it's time for fan mail questions brought to you by 2K Sports Video Games. And Joe, the question comes in, what exactly causes a bat to break?
And John, I think that's a great question. A lot of people do not realize, but the bat actually bends when the ball hits it. And the reason it breaks is because you hit it out toward the end and it bends more than it's supposed to. Or you hit it on the handle and it's just the opposite. It bends the same way, but the bend is what causes it to break. And the closer you hit it toward the end of the bat or toward the handle, the more pressure it puts on.
I always thought it was Mariano Rivera's cutter.
That has a lot to do with it as well.
All right, thanks, Joe. Now let's get back to the game.
In 2006, the Kansas City Royals lost 100 games, and that was better than the 106 they lost the year before, or the 104 dropped the year before that, Steve.
Hey, they used to be the model franchise, but that's 3 consecutive seasons at or worse than the century mark for a grand total of 310 defeats in the past 3 years. It's safe to say that expectations are and have been pretty low for this great franchise.
And as the Royals get set to take the field at Kauffman Stadium, there is some reason for cautious optimism. There actually may be a reason for the fans to root for more than the condiments that run races between innings.
Well, I hear ketchup has pretty good speed this year. Late in 2006, there began to be signs of improvement in Kansas City and that they're putting together the talent needed to turn their fortunes around. Mark Teahen made a return from the minors and began to flash some power at the plate, and Luke Hudson went 6-3 in 15 starts as a late addition in the rotation. If they can stabilize their starting rotation, they could make things interesting in the American League Central.
Thanks, Steve. Now let's take you out for some baseball. John?
Welcome, everyone. This is John Miller alongside my longtime colleague, my good friend, Hall of Famer Joe Morgan, who also is an Emmy.
Like the Jesus in their lineup. You know, he's a gamer. He plays the game hard, and he'll hit for average, and he'll help you to cash in on your scoring opportunities.
Gil Mesh will be doing the pitching. He was an 11-game winner last year.
Well, he missed with that one. He was trying to get it toward the outside corner, but he got it up.
Up next, it's an AL West battle coming up between the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim and the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. John Lackey will be on the mound for the Los Angeles Angels in this one. John Lackey will oppose him as he will pitch for the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim.
3 words tell you all you need to know about Big John Lackey, and that's one tough Texan. He won 13 games for the Angels in 2006, and once again, through over 200 innings, he struck out 190 batters. He's been in the top 10 in that department the last few seasons because he has a tremendous curveball. His fastball will reach 94, 95, but he usually strikes you out with the great curveball, and he's not afraid of throwing it to left-handers or right-handers.
Thanks, Steve. Now let's take you out for some baseball. John?
Alongside Emmy-winning Joe Morgan, you thought he was just a Hall of Famer. This is John Miller getting you ready for what should be a pretty good matchup. It's time once again for Fan Mail Questions, brought to you by 2K Sports Video Games. Here we go, Joe. Why do teams sometimes have to play doubleheaders?
Well, John, it used to be that all teams played doubleheaders. That was part of their schedule. And that's when I liked baseball as a kid. I used to go to the doubleheader. But what happens now is when you have a cancellation, it ends up, having to be made up as part of a doubleheader, either a rain delay or anything. It's like this past season, the hurricane in Florida caused Tampa Bay to miss a scheduled game in New York, so they had to make it up as part of a doubleheader.
Yeah, teams don't like to schedule doubleheaders anymore because they lose gate admission. They don't want to give away a game like that. All right, Joe. Now let's go back to the game.
On tap, it's NL West action with the Los Angeles Dodgers and the Los Angeles Dodgers. Jason Schmidt will get the call for the Los Angeles Dodgers. Jason Schmidt will face off against him for the LA Dodgers.
Jason Schmidt can be nasty, Jeannie. He has terrific stuff. Some players say that Schmidt has the most feared stuff in baseball. He not only throws hard and has a nasty slider, but he has developed a changeup that is among the best in the game. He'll still throw that fastball at 98 at times, but not as consistently as he used to.
Thanks, Steve. Now let's take you out for some baseball. John?
Hello, everyone. This is John Miller alongside my longtime partner, Joe Morgan. And we should have a pretty good matchup here in this one. Before we get to we'll be doing the pitching. He was an 11-game winner last year.
Jason Schmidt is proven to be an ace of the staff. I mean, he is a #1 starter on any staff that he's on. And the guy has a great fastball and an excellent changeup and a nice curveball. So he has all the weapons you need to be a top-notch starter.
Well, if you throw the changeup up and away, you might want to come back with a fastball inside.
Just sit back as 2K Sports takes you out to Miller Park for another installment of Brewers baseball.
And these Brewers continue to thirst for a winning season, something these fans haven't seen since 1992. But they did manage an outstanding home record in 2006 as they went 48-33 before the hometown fans.
Which is exactly what they'd like to build upon in this contest. And the crew was busy this past offseason as they added some new bats to this lineup and some new faces in the starting rotation.
I really like the starting starting rotation now. And they've plugged some holes in that bullpen. If these guys can stay healthy, they should have a chance.
Thanks, Steve. Now let's take you out for some baseball. John?
Alongside Emmy-winning Joe Morgan, you thought he was just a Hall of Famer. This is John Miller getting you ready for what should be a pretty good matchup. Time once again for fan mail questions. All right, Joe, the question for you is, what does it mean when a fielder is credited with an assist?
You get an assist when you retire a runner. A ground ball is shortstop and he throws to first, he retires the runner. That's an assist because the putout goes to the first baseman. Now, if you're an outfielder and you throw a ball in and they retire a runner going to a base, you get an assist, and the guy that tags him gets the putout.
Or if an outfielder would have thrown out a base runner at a base, but the fielder dropped the throw for an error, then the outfielder gets credit for an assist, even though no out was actually recorded.
Correct. The only way you can get an assist is with a putout or an error.
All right, Joe, thanks for the fans' question, and thanks to you. Now let's get back to the game.
On tap, it's AL Central baseball action with the Minnesota Twins and the Minnesota Twins. Johan Santana will get the call for the Minnesota Twins. Johan Santana will pitch against him for the Minnesota Twins.
Jeannie, Johan Santana is an outstanding athlete. He grew up playing shortstop and center field, so you know he has athleticism, but he also has a great arm. Maybe the best changeup in baseball, around 76, 77 miles an hour. Very good fastball at 94 to 95, and he's a big game pitcher. 245 strikeouts in 233 innings. That tells you all you need to know. He's going to be tough to beat today.
Thanks, Steve. Now let's take you out for some baseball. John?
Welcome, everyone. This is John Miller alongside my longtime colleague, my good friend, Hall of Famer Joe Morgan, who also is an Emmy winner. Joe, now for fan mail questions brought to you by 2K Sports. Here you go, Joe. What is more exciting to you, the double play or a diving catch?
I think the double play is more exciting because it takes more parts working together. You have to have at least a couple of people working together to make the double play. On a diving catch, it's one guy making a great play.
Thanks a lot, Joe. Now let's get back to the game.
We've got Mets baseball here on 2K Sports, and we bring you the Amazins as they defend that National League East championship from the confines of Shea Stadium.
Well, the New York Mets built up a healthy lead in the National League East Division race early in 2006 as they finally brought the title to Queens, along with the best record in the National League.
But Steve, there's still some unfinished business to attend to as they couldn't quite clear the second round of the playoffs. They fell just one victory short of the pennant.
And they take all that postseason experience into today's contest as they look to make another run at securing more late October baseball for these fans at Shea.
Thanks, Steve. Now let's take you out for some baseball. John?
Hello, everyone. This is John Miller along with Joe Morgan, and we're ready to bring you all the action. Now, Joe, we're about to begin here. What do you think about the nobody on?
And coming up, it's a battle in the American League East between the New York Yankees and the New York Yankees. Chien-Ming Wang will take the ball for the Yankees in this one. And last year, that ERA was just over 3.6. Chien-Ming Wang will oppose him as he will pitch for the New York Yankees.
Chien-Ming Wang knows how to pitch. Big guy, 6'3", 200 pounds. You'd think, oh, good size is going to strike a lot of batters out. That's not the case. He only struck out 76 last year in 218 innings. But he's one of those guys who keeps his ego in the locker room. He doesn't want to strike you out. He just wants to get you out. So he uses that great sinker, and he uses his terrific defense to win ball games. And Chien-Ming Wang in 2006 won 19 games. I think he'll be a winner today.
Thanks, Steve. Now let's take you out for some baseball. John?
This is John Miller, welcoming you to our Major League Baseball telecast along with former Major Leaguer and Hall of Famer Joe Morgan.
The Oakland A's are ready to put on a good show for the hometown fans, Steve, and we're just moments away from bringing it to you in living color right here on the 2K Sports Network.
And with that 49-32 record at home in 2006, these fans expect big things from this defending American League West Division champion.
Even as Moneyball moves forward after a managerial change and some new faces in that lineup and, of course, the pitching staff, this is a team that is equipped to defend that title.
The Big Hurt also moved somewhere away, and after getting swept out of the second round of the playoffs by the Detroit Tigers, these A's know there's some unfinished business to attend to as they stage another drive toward a championship.
Thanks, Steve. Now let's take you out for some baseball. John?
Welcome, everyone. John Miller here to bring you all the action, and with me is my partner and Baseball Hall of Famer, Joe Morgan. Fastball in the dirt. Good block by the catcher.
All 2K Sports titles, as well as exclusive screenshots, videos, and gaming news. So remember to visit your internet home for the most innovative, enjoyable video games in the sports world. 2K Sports, the temperature at game time is 50 degrees. Wind speed is currently steady at 9 miles per hour from the north by northeast.
And coming right up, it's an NL East showdown featuring the Philadelphia Phillies and the Philadelphia Phillies. Brett Myers will get the start for Philadelphia. And his ERA last year was just north of 3.90. Brett Myers will take the hill as well for Philadelphia.
Brett Myers might be coming into his own, Jeannie. He's just going to turn 27 years old, and he was drafted by the Phillies in the first round. This is a guy who won 12 games in 2006 for the Phils, has a very good fastball, outstanding curve with a split finger and slider pitch. He'll be tough to beat today.
Thanks, Steve. Now let's take you out for some baseball. John?
Hello again, everyone. This is John Miller along with my partner Joe Morgan, and we're getting set to bring you all the action of this one.
Now, Joe, up a lot of strikeouts with his overpowering fastball.
No swing, he says. So it was a check swing and a ball.
And coming right up, it's an NL Central showdown featuring the Pittsburgh Pirates and the Pittsburgh Pirates. Zach Duke will take the ball for Pittsburgh in this one. Zach Duke will also get the start for Pittsburgh.
Zach Duke is only 24 years old. Good size, 6'2", 212, but he doesn't have an overpowering fastball. What he does have is heart, and he will come after you. He'll be aggressive in that strike zone. He'll try and get you out down in the zone and work hitters away.
Thanks, Steve. Now let's take you out for some baseball. John?
Welcome, everyone. This is John Miller alongside my longtime colleague, my good friend, Hall of Famer Joe Morgan, who also is an...
But in '05, fans really got behind Zach Duke. This guy had just about as good a rookie year as you'll ever see a young pitcher have. He went 8-2, and that's no easy feat pitching for the Bucks. That 1.81 earned run average led all rookie starters, too. He's a young talent that someone will eventually build a rotation around. I thought he might take a swing at that one, John, but he was obviously looking for something else.
This one is an NL West matchup featuring the San Diego Padres and the San Diego Padres. Jake Peavy will be called on to pitch for San Diego in this one. Jake Peavy will oppose him for the San Diego Padres.
Jeannie, here's the scouting report on Jake Peavy. Peavy has a fastball in the mid to sometimes high 90s that he wings in from a loose-armed three-quarters delivery and has a devastating changeup that often seals a K against the hitter. He also packs a two-plane slider in his arsenal and a curve he's willing to throw across at any time for a strike. So in today's game, he could rack up 8, 9, 10 strikeouts.
Thanks, Steve. Now let's take you out for some baseball. John?
Hello again, everyone. This is John Miller along with my partner Joe Morgan, and we're getting set to bring you all the action of the... Brian Giles is batting second.
Brian Giles.
We put it all on the line for you at 2K Sports, and we bring you some hardball action straight from AT&T Park. Steve, it is time for a little Giants baseball.
And this isn't the same Giants team that lost 85 games in 2006. They picked up a new manager who knows how to win National League West Division titles, and he's looking to apply his winning ways right here by McAfee Cove.
And one thing they don't want to change is that home record, 43-38 in 2006 at AT&T Park. That is something to bring out the fans in the Bay Area.
And if the new manager can add a division race into the mix, these fans might get a chance to see a little postseason glory.
Thanks, Steve. Now let's take you out for some baseball. John?
John Miller here to bring you all the action, and with me, my longtime partner, the Hall of Famer, Joe Morgan. And Joe, as the Giants take the field, had a 257 combined batting average against him.
Well, as the most sought-after free agent starting pitcher this past offseason, you know that all eyes are going to be on Barry Zito in this one. He won the Cy Young Award in 2002, and he's an ace, and people are expecting a lot from this guy.
Well, most hitters aren't going to chase that pitch down and away because they can't hit it anyway.
On tap, it's AL West action with the Seattle Mariners and the Seattle Mariners. Felix Hernandez will take the ball from the Mariners in this one. He will want to do better than that 4.50 plus ERA from last year. Felix Hernandez will also get the start for Seattle.
I know, Jeannie, you want a scouting report on the phenom, Felix Hernandez. Well, King Felix is poised to be the next great pitching sensation. He packs a fastball that can reach the high 90s, a curveball in the mid-80s, and seems to get everything over for strikes. He has a lot of bullets in his holster for such a young gun.
Thanks, Steve. Now let's take you out for some baseball. John?
This is John Miller along with Joe Morgan, and we're ready to bring you all the excitement of this ball game.
And he can't make contact on the bunt attempt. It's a strike.
This one is an NL Central matchup featuring the St. Louis Cardinals and the St. Louis Cardinals. Chris Carpenter will be taking the mound for the St. Louis Cardinals. Chris Carpenter will face him. He'll take the hill for the St. Louis Cardinals.
Chris Carpenter can absolutely dominate you, Gene. He has great size, 6'6", 215 pounds, comes right over the top, 93, 95 miles an hour, always very sharp with his fastball, and has one of the better curveballs in baseball. When he has that curveball command, you will not win. You will not have a chance today.
Thanks, Steve. Now let's take you out for some baseball. John?
This is John Miller, welcoming you to our Major League Baseball telecast along with former Major Leaguer and Hall of Famer Joe Morgan.
And he's a big game pitcher as well.
That one almost got the outside corner, but it's still down and away.
On tap, it's AL East action with the Tampa Bay Devil Rays and the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. Scott Kazmir will take the ball for the D-Rays in this one. Last year, his ERA was just above 3.20. Scott Kazmir will face off against him. He's thrown for the Tampa Bay Devil Rays.
Scott Kazmir is one of the top young lefties in baseball, Jeannie. He's only 6 feet tall, but boy, does he have a good arm and a good fastball that can reach 95, 96 miles an hour with great late life. He struck out 163 batters in a little more than 144 innings last year. He can be one of the top young lefties in the game, and he will be tough to beat today.
Thanks, Steve. Now let's take you out for some baseball. John?
Alongside Emmy-winning Joe Morgan, you thought he was just a Hall of Famer. This is John Miller getting you ready for what should be a pretty good match.
Ball to the 6-foot lefty, Scott Kazmir. They're looking for a strong season out of this power pitcher. He's got the arsenal and the composure of an ace. This should be a good one today. I mean, the Mets are still sorry that they made that trade.
We've got Rangers baseball on tap, Steve, for you at the 2K Sports Network and everybody else, as this Lone Star club looks to make a little noise at AmeriQuest Field.
And in 2006, Jeannie, these Rangers struggled at home as they posted a losing record at AmeriQuest, 39-42. They actually had a better record on the road.
But that home record was reflected in the final standings, 80-82, a losing record by the smallest of margins that landed them in third place at the end of the 2006 campaign.
And 2006 was a season of middling baseball as the Rangers just couldn't sustain a consistent winning record despite a surprisingly capable middle infield and bullpen. And with the loss of several free agents over the offseason, these Rangers are looking to establish a more consistent home record with a key win in today's game.
Thanks, Steve. Now let's take you out for some baseball. John?
Welcome, everyone. John Miller here to bring you all the action. And with me is my partner and Baseball Hall of Famer, Joe Morgan.
That he's dedicated himself to becoming a better player. And if he can improve from the numbers we've already seen, man, he's going to be scary.
Kevin Millwood
We'll be doing the pitching. And the hitters have hit .272 as a group against him.
Kevin Millwood could very well be the ace of this club, and they're expecting him to pitch like one today. The base on balls has been known to hurt him, so he'll need to get his control working for him, but he's been a consistent winner every place he's been.
This one is an AL East matchup featuring the Toronto Blue Jays and the Toronto Blue Jays. Roy Halladay will take the ball for Toronto in this one. Roy Halladay will go against him for the Toronto Blue Jays.
Roy Halladay is a former Cy Young winner. Jeannie won 22 games in the 2003 season. He's had some health problems, took a line drive off his leg and knocked out of the 2005 season. 2006, he won 16 games, but he felt fatigue in his shoulder that affected his arm angle. But this is a guy, terrific fastball, terrific curveball, and a great heart. Big game pitcher. He's won 66% of his games, remember, over a 9-year big league career.
Thanks, Steve. Now let's take you out for some baseball. John?
John Miller here. I'll be calling all the balls and strikes, the safes and the outs, the homers, the doubles, alongside my partner.
Day. The four-time All-Star and 2003 Cy Young Award pitcher is a true ace of this staff, and he's got a filthy selection of pitches to get the hitters out with. Great curveball, and he has a great makeup. He is one of the best pitchers in all the major leagues.
Well, most hitters aren't going to chase that pitch down and away because they can't hit it anywhere.
Absolutely freezing. Winds are called from the north.
On tap, it's NL East action with the Washington Nationals and the Washington Nationals. John Patterson will be taking the mound for Washington. And last year, his ERA was just over a 4.40. John Patterson will also get the ball for Washington.
Jeannie, John Patterson features a good fastball that he'll wing in the mid-90s along with a long arcing curveball and a slider that he'll hit on the outside corner of the plate at any time in the count. This is a guy with good stuff. He'll work deep into games, 7, 8, 9 innings today. So, hitters, you want to get him early.
Thanks, Steve. Now let's take you out for some baseball. John?
John Miller here to bring you all the action, and with me, my longtime partner, the Hall of Famer, Joe Morgan. Now, Joe is Washington.
And now coming up, we'll see the American League All-Stars taking on the National League All-Stars. Brad Penny will throw the first pitch for the National League All-Stars in this one. Last year, that ERA was just above 4.30. Roy Halladay will oppose him. He gets the start for the American League All-Stars.
You've got a great chance to win, Jeannie, anytime Roy Halladay is on the mound. This guy has a great heart. He's a leader in that clubhouse, and he's a winner. 16 wins for the Toronto Blue Jays in 2006. 220 innings, only gave up 208 hits, and struck out 130.
Thanks, Steve. Now let's take you out for some baseball. John?
We are just moments away from the start of this year's All-Star Game.
John Miller here. I'll be calling all the balls and strikes, the safes and the outs, the homers, the doubles, alongside my partner, the Hall of Famer, Joe Morgan. Joe, this one's just about ready to get started. Very quickly, the National League All-Stars, what's the key for them?
Well, one player to watch in this one, John, is third baseman David Wright. He'll hit for average.
Coming up, we've got the Cooperstown Legends taking on the Cooperstown Legends. Bob Feller will be taking the mound for the Cooperstown Legends. His ERA was phenomenal last year, folks, way under 1. Nolan Ryan will take the hill for the Cooperstown Legends.
Jeannie, all I have to do is give you one number, and you know who I'm talking about. 5,714 career strikeouts. The Express, Nolan Ryan. There's a total that's likely to go untouched and unbeaten for generations as Ryan sits.
Thanks, Steve. Now let's take you out for some baseball. John?
This is John Miller along with Joe Morgan, and we're ready to bring you all the excitement of this ball game. Now, we're just about to get this game started, but here's maybe a dumb question, Joe, but do you think the Legends have a chance in this one?
Hey, and what do you know? I think I'm looking at a time machine, John. I guess that's me.
Now, many people think of him as one of the best second basemen that ever played the game. I think of him as a great broadcaster. My partner, the great Joe Morgan. Nolan Ryan will be doing the pitching. He is not